a place of love. We are one Guyana. It's paradise, it's our world.
Yeah, some are we born on the hills, some on the low coastal plains. Plenty rice and sugar cane. Same Guyanese blood in our vein. So make we burn out the hatred, time for erase it. Can't make that destroy. 6 race I share the same space in this 83,000 square miles.
We are one Guyana, a place of peace, a place of love. We are one Guyana, it's paradise, it's our world.
Brother is a brother, no matter which religion is you. Could a Buddhist, Christian, Muslim, Hindu. Sister is a sister, real and true. One big water culture brew.
And all of we together could really make this dream come true. Of a brighter Guyana for me and you. Ocean to mountains, hear this tune. Take it cool.
We are one Guyana, a place of peace, a place of love. We are one Guyana, it's paradise, it's our world. My love runs deep like a beautiful rivers for Guyana. Oh, and when we stand as one, mighty like Mount Jerima, for Guyana, for Guyana. Our life would be beautiful, just like Guyana. She's blessed us with her own, just got to embrace her. You say, one and alone can't clap, so let's put our hands together. Give her a standing ovation, this great nation, a little gem of this world, yeah.
And a very good evening to you. Welcome to the Diaspora Connected. It's the first day of September in the in the year of 2022. We want to welcome you to the Diaspora Connected. And of course, we want to encourage you, as usual, to share our video on your timeline and invite your friends to join us here on the Diaspora Connected. We are certainly delighted that you are joining us, and looking forward for your phone calls, looking forward to have a very good interaction with you tonight, and looking forward to bringing you some information on some of the issues that we will be talking about. And of course, if you want us to talk about anything here, you have some questions, we're going to take your questions via the telephone. But just remember, once you're calling us, you have to talk to us on the phone when you have the phone to your ears, or if you have it on speakerphone. But do not listen back for the audio, because there's a kind of a delay, and it will confuse you, and then we won't be able to have that conversation that you're calling for us to have. So, like I said, guys, I am certainly delighted to be here. Welcome, one and all. Welcome. Smash that emoji. Share the damn life. Yeah. Let's get serious. Want to encourage you to share the live. Send it in a message to your friends. Share it on your timeline. Invite people to come and join us, and let us have a good discussion here. And like I said, we're open for questions. We're open for comments. We're open for critiques. It doesn't matter. If you support have a different view than I do, sure, you're welcome here. Want to talk to you about your political view. If you support a different political party than I do, sure, I want to talk to you. You're welcome here. I want to talk to you about whatever you want us to talk about. So what I'm trying to say to you, ladies and gentlemen, I'm looking forward for you to join us here on the Diaspora Connected. I'll do my part here to share the video, and I want to encourage you guys to do the same. Make sure you share it, send it to your friends. We are live on the Guyanese Critic Facebook page at Daybreak News, and we're also live on Sky TV New York. We are streaming live also in Canada on Caribbean Showtime. So wherever you're joining us, whatever platform you're using, thank you to our guys over there at the Guyanese Critic Facebook page, Guyanese Critic platform. Thank you to the guys here at Sky TV. Welcome, welcome, one and all. First of all, ladies and gentlemen, I want to talk to you about what transpired 2 days ago here in Queens, New York. And so someone in their pomposity came to Queens, New York, came to Richmond Hill, Little Guyana, designated by the city of New York. This area was designated by the city of New York as Little Guyana. An honor for every single Guyanese. It was a recognition of the sacrifices that were made by Guyanese who came here before us. It was a recognition of the sacrifices that are being made by Guyanese who reside here in the state of New York, especially in the city of New York, and especially in Richmond Hill, Queens, New York. It was a recognition of the hard work and dedication to New York, that the city of New York designated this area as Little Guyana. It was a recognition of the contribution of all Guyanese who came here to the United States, here, and made New York State their home, make New York City their home, make the borough of Queens their home, and make this, the village of Richmond Hill, the community of Richmond Hill their home. It was a recognition of the contribution that was made by every single Guyanese, that the city of New York designated this area as Little Guyana. Every single Guyanese had ought to be proud of that sign. Every time you go to the corner of Lefferts and Liberty, you should have been proud of that sign, because it's a recognition of your country. But some person, and I was told that the rice eater sent them to do this. Well, we've got news for you, Mr. Rice Eater. If it's alleged that you send that person to remove the Little Guyana sign from the corner of Liberty and Lefferts Boulevard, we got news for you. The Department of Transportation has already put back that sign. Any person, Guyanese or not, whether you're from whatever country you're from, should be proud that that little small country on the tip of the South American coast line can come to this huge industrialized nation and craft a name for itself. Any Guyanese, any person ought to be proud of that. You ought to be proud of that. I am severely proud of that. I am extremely proud of that. That my country, the country of my birth, was recognized by the city of New York, by honoring it, by calling a community a little part of this big country, this big city, this big state, this big borough, Queens, New York, designating a part of it as Little Guyana. So to the person who set up from the rice eater and came and removed our pride, our sign, shame on you. And if you, the rice eater, indeed send that person to remove our sign, well, you are already a walking shame anyway, so I don't know how lower you can get. What was even more disgusting after all of this is that Sherrod Duncan, the clown-in-chief in Guyana, decided to make fun and laugh of this issue. He should have been, but obviously he supports a political party that does not believe or does not take pride in what being a Guyanese really means. He's from a political party that is not happy when things are being done for Guyanese. It is why every time you go in the ring, when a Guyanese unfortunately have met their demise, or a Guyanese is suffering, or the government and the president and the cabinet is doing things to assist Guyanese, it is the reason why this buffoon, Sherrod Duncan, makes fun of those things and fun of those persons. So he was making fun again about the Little Guyana sign. Not surprising at all, because of course, this person is not really proud of his country. He looks for every single reason to tear us down, to insult us, to divide us, to pit us against each other, to tell us how bad things are in Guyana, to break us down instead of lifting us up. That's what that Guyanese do. Sherrod Duncan. So obviously he went on his television program and he's making fun that, again I say, our pride was removed. Just the sign was removed. Because nobody can mess with our pride as Guyanese. Whether you're Afro-Guyanese, Amerindian Guyanese, and as I say Amerindian Guyanese, I want to say happy Heritage Month to our indigenous brothers and sisters. Some call it Heritage Month, some call it Amerindian Heritage Month, whatever you call it. I want to say happy Heritage Month to our Amerindian brothers and sisters. And I want to read a little part that the political party that cares about every single Guyanese, that respects every single Guyanese, and that honor every single Guyanese, and celebrates our differences. Not use our differences against us. Not use our differences to strive, to put us against each other, and to create political strife and racial hostility. A political party that celebrates our differences, that show us every single day how much we can achieve when we work together. And of course, I'm talking about the People's Progressive Party, Civic, the oldest and most inclusive political party in Guyana's history. Fact check me on that if you want. There's a message for Amerindian brothers and sisters on the People's Progressive Party Civic Facebook page, and I want to read it. It says, as we celebrate Amerindian Heritage Month, let us do so with the knowledge that our Amerindians can be assured that their future is secure. They can look forward to ever-improving standards of living and greater opportunities because of the support and recognition which the PPP civic government is paying to Amerindian rights and development. Happy Amerindian Heritage Month to our first people, our Amerindian brothers and sisters. To those of you Amerindian brothers and sisters who are watching us right now, I know you're probably busy right now at the Umaniana celebrating your the start of Amerindian Heritage Month. But to those of you, if any of you are watching us here, we want you to know that we are proud. The political party I support is proud of you forming part of our fabric. As a matter of fact, you are our nation's first people. And this is an echo again, once again, of His Excellency. And of course, our Minister, Pauline Sukai, who's responsible for Amerindian affairs. This is an echo. Let us continue to work together to lift Guyana up together. Amerindian brothers and sisters, and African brothers and sisters, and Indo brothers and sisters, and Portuguese or Portuguese, or however you call it, brothers and sisters, and mixture, and everybody putting hands together, all hands on deck to develop this beautiful country that we were blessed to call our home. And even though I live in the United States, ladies and gentlemen, I am proud of my heritage and proud of my background, proud of the country which I came from. Of course, I would never, ever, ever be ungrateful to these United States for offering me an opportunity to be here and to live the American dream like any American can. So, as I say that, I want to go back to our little Guyana sign. So Sherrod Duncan was making fun of this on his program. Yeah, they stole this sign. The little Guyana sign gone. Can you believe this? This is a member of parliament, for Christ's sake. This is a member of parliament. And speaking about member of parliament, they have the Honorable Jurita Finance, Shadow Minister of Finance. And you know what is laughable about these people? They so crave importance and they so crave the spotlight that you've ever seen in the history of parliament that any member of parliament on the opposition side, even going back to their opposition MPs before this unruly bunch, you ever see anybody put that up as their official portfolio on their Facebook or anywhere else? Oh, I am the official shadow minister of finance. Ganesh Maipal got his own up. I'm the shadow minister of local government. Amanzo Walton Desire, I'm the shadow minister of foreign affairs. Now, shadow minister is parliamentary language. It's something that is used only really in the parliament. But these guys have it up there, and it forms part of their portfolio. How much they're dying for to be important and dying for recognition. They have it there as, oh, I'm the shadow minister of this, and I'm the shadow minister. Shadow minister, my left foot. You're a member of parliament for the opposition, full stop. Of course, in parliament, they're referred to as shadow ministers because that identifies their responsibility, where they're responsible for critiquing the government. But they don't bring that really outside of parliament. But this unruly bunch, they just want to feel important. That's why they post it up. Oh yeah, I'm the shadow minister of this and shadow minister of that. Give me a break. You're just an opposition member of parliament. That is parliamentary language. That is reserved only to be used in parliament, not outside the parliament, not to make y'all feel important. You're already a member of parliament. That's important enough, even though you don't carry yourselves as members of parliament. That is important enough. But you go around, oh, I'm the shadow minister of this and shadow minister of that. And coming back to Jurita Finance. Imagine she's the shadow minister, shadow minister of finance. And I have listened to her show for quite a few times, and I'm still waiting to hear her critique the government on her show as it relates to financial matters. This shadow minister of finance goes on her programs and talk about who does wear suit and whose suit look nice and who suit this and who suit that. That is the importance. That is the level of representation that you PNC supporters get from your members of parliament. That is the level of representation. Oh, Sherrod, your suit look nice. And Sherrod, they talking about your suit. And Freddie talk about your suit. And this and that and that and the other. Imagine in her last budget presentation, I am still waiting to hear her critique the Honorable Senior Minister. And that is his official portfolio outside of Parliament also. Senior Minister in the Office of the President with responsibility for finance, Dr. Ashni Singh. I'm still waiting to hear her critique him properly. But then again, you see, when you bring a rookie to stand up against an honorable doctor, an economist, what do you expect? What kind of representation you expect to get? They're so proud. Oh, I am an honorable shadow minister. Our telephone line is open, ladies and gentlemen. Give you an opportunity to call in. Of course, I'm going to read some of your comments tonight because I have the opportunity to do so. We also have other things to talk about. Somebody say congratulations to our Amerindian brothers and sisters as they celebrate Amerindian Heritage Month under the banner of One Guyana. Thank you very much. Good night to everyone. Good night. Someone saying good night. Yes, that was disgusting that they removed the sign. Of course it was. Question for Ossie. Why was I muted last Tuesday? I'm 100% supporter of your show. Who mute you, buddy? I don't know who mute you. When you call into the program, though, I don't know if you were the person who called in and I had to cut you off. When you call into the program, if you're talking to us on the phone, you got to listen to us on the phone that you're talking to on your ears, and not on the phone that you're watching us on or the television or anything like that. You have to talk to us on the phone because it's the only way that you will hear me, and I will be able to have a conversation with you. But if you do that and you're listening to yourself on whatever instrument you're listening to us on, then you will be confused because there's a delay. So I don't know if that was the person. I apologize if you were, but we've got to do the right thing. We've got to understand that we've got to do the right thing. So this person asked, why was I muted last Tuesday? I'm 100% supporter of your show. Which one of my comments breached your protocol? Your moderator muted me. I don't think any of us did, because we don't do that. We don't suppress free speech, except if it borders on disrespecting someone else. Me, I take all the disrespect. Because, and I know that you would not do something like that because you've already pointed out that that's not your style. But I got PNC people, all kind of things they throw at me, all kind of disrespect. But they think that's make me get sleepless nights. Well, if you think so, then you go ahead. You go ahead. If you think that makes me not sleep properly at night. The phone number, ladies and gentlemen, is on the screen, 971-280-4444. You can also add that number on WhatsApp to those of you watching us, and you might inquire a long distance call to call that number. We don't want you to do that. So if you can add us on WhatsApp. We take WhatsApp calls also. I live in New York, but I am a proud Guyanese, of course. Someone says, good night. This is Vic Pandey. Love your show. Thank you very much. Very nice of you to hear from you. God bless you. Thank you. Let's see if we get some comments. And we got our first caller coming through. So we're going to take this first call, and then we're going to continue with our program. So let us take this first call. Caller, good evening. And you're live.
Good evening, Mr. Rogers.
You're live.
I just like to find out, what is it that the government is doing about the Durban Park? That thing is an eyesore to tourists, man. They need to do something about it.
Yes, I agree with you. That's all you want to...
It's not about APNU or whatever they call themselves. It's about Guyana. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes, I agree with you.
Okay, thank you. That's all I have to say.
All right, thank you very much. Short and sweet. This is the type of caller we like to have on this program. But listen, if you're asking me what the government is doing about Durban Park, first of all, who builds a stadium out of wood? I am sure that they're still contemplating what they will do about Durban Park, because as far as I see it, that cannot be sustained. And this is my personal view. That cannot be sustained. It's gonna start falling apart. Guyana is a tropical country, so Wodan's gonna start eating it out. It cannot stand up to the weather in Guyana and that sort of thing. And as far as I see, it may have to be torn down. But then when you go and you tear it down, then they're gonna say that it's because it's APNU built it up, you tear it down. So I don't even know what we're gonna do with it. I'll leave that to the experts. And once we get an information on what they're gonna do with it, we'll be happy to pass it on to you guys. But for me, it was an eyesore from the time it was built, and it was a cash cow, so that members of Granger's administration can siphon off and pocket off our money. So that's what it was, and that's the reason why it was built. Somebody says Sherrod is mentally constipated. Y'all using some big words there on me. Mr. Ossie, it's nice meeting you. Oh, hi Sandra. Yeah, it was nice meeting you at the function there at Smoky Park also. Thank you very much for recognizing me. A shout out to all our friends that are watching us from Trinidad also. Shout out to you guys. Somebody said Duncan is like Roy. We're not going to talk about Roy here. That's their personal business. They can handle Roy, and his people can handle their business. We're not here to make laugh or to entertain you on someone's misery like other people do. We're not going to do that. Whatever the situation, I have my personal opinion on the situation with Roy and stuff like that, but that's not for this forum. That's not to be discussed here. That's their personal business. Those are two Guyanese who require some degree of help. And what we should be doing as a community is supporting them and not making fun of them, even though, like I say, I'm not going to comment, but the person who made that video and posted, they too need help. They too need help. They need an intervention. But we're not going to come here and make fun of their story and try to make it a laughing matter or anything like that. That's not what we do here. We're responsible people here. We leave that to Sherrod Duncan and them. They're making fun of it and laughing over it. As a matter of fact, this same shadow minister of finance, that was her big topic this morning on whatever show she has or whatever show she's on. Kemraj Ramjatan, the Honorable Shadow Minister of Russian Affairs, was on with the Nutty Professor tonight. And according to Kemraj, Kemraj see things. And let me explain to y'all why I call him not Naughty Professor, because I'm not copying. The Nutty Professor, he's nuts. David Hines, that is. He's nuts. You listen to that professor, you would realize why I call him the Nutty Professor. Not naughty, not naughty. The Nutty Professor. By the way, I want to ask you guys a question. Is this a PNC thing? Because I heard Kadiki Amsterdam also cannot pronounce words that begin with the letter H. I want to know if it's a PNC thing. It's only because when you become PNC, so if I join the PNC, I would not be able to say house anymore. Once I become a PNC member, I can say house. Wow. Anyway, so so Kemraj Ramjatan, the Honorable Shadow Minister of Russian Affairs, is seeing things again. Remember during the elections time, Kemraj Ramjatan saw Russians that the PPP brought into Guyana to hijack and to change votes and to tap into GCOM machine and that sort of thing to change votes. Kemraj Ramjatan saw that. I remember I was telling you guys about how these people copy from America what they see on their TV, because we got most of the American channels down there in Guyana. I know it's the same still. So we see all the American and we're influenced by the American culture. And we have a political party that lacks originality, so they copy what they see on television. And tonight is no different, because the Honorable Shadow Minister, Kemraj Ramjatan, was on television tonight talking about he see Jim Crow. Jim Crow emerging in Guyana. You understand why I say it got to be a naughty show. The nutty professor with his nutty politics 101 show, Camera Dran Britancy, Jim Crow. Now, ladies and gentlemen, here we go again with these people that support this visionless political party called the PNC. And like I said before, when I talk about the PNC, I'm including the Nutty Professors political party, which is the WPA. I'm including Jaipal Sharma and his dad, two-member party, which includes the Justice for All party, which is the Justice for All party. Sarabo Hali, whatever her name is. I always have problem pronouncing her name. I'm including her one lady party. Keith Scott one person party also I'm including. I'm including every single party that forms APNU, because all those 1 and 2 members party has morphed into the APNU and has become PNC. Their attitudes, their lies, their misinformation, their race baiting, their discrimination, and everything is still a reminder of what the PNC used to be. So Comrade Ramjatan is seeing the margins of Jim Crow in Guyana. Can you believe that? Now, if you do not know what Jim Crow is, you can do some research. You don't have to dig too deep, but you can do some research here on Google, and you'll figure out what Jim Crow is, and then tell me that you've seen that in Guyana. We got another caller, and we're going to take that call.
Ossie, good night.
Good night. How are you?
I'm good, and I'm calling concerning the Little Guyana sign that these mischievous guys took down. You remember when Burke had threatened that they're gonna come with their gang in Richmond Hill?
Who are you talking about? The Ricita?
Yes, and they're taking
Oh, the Ricita.
they're taking down addresses, and they're taking down names and whatever. So I hope that the New York NYPD, they're taking note of this guy here, because it seems like they have a gang who is specializing in those kind of destructive behavior. And I am 100% sure that Hindu temple stuff is attached to them.
I believe that too.
Connected to them, and this sign also, and with the society now and cell phone, I can't understand how nobody didn't snapshot that guy's face who was taking down that thing.
Well, I think it happened so fast that people didn't even realize what was going on. Remember, that's a busy car and everybody just minding their own business.
Yes,
so that's what I think it was.
And then I noticed the short video. Whoever took that, this guy put himself in a safety hat and those things, like if he's working with the, some construction company or something. So I think they're going to come back again. And the people in this area need to keep an eye open for them and snap pictures as soon as they see them. Like notice something, anything irregular, something that is not, looking good. So thank you so much.
Thank you very much for coming through. Thank you very much. I appreciate your comment. So very, very important there that our sisters calling and talking about we need to be vigilant. We need to be on the lookout for these society rejects who would seek to come into our community and try to bring their hate into our community. Now listen, while removing a sign might not form part of the Hate Crimes Act, we all know that it was done based on some degree of hate. And in our eyes, the removal of the Little Guyana sign is indeed a hate crime. And the destruction of the Gandhi monument, the Gandhi statue at 111 at the Tulsi Mandir at 111, that also is a hate crime. And that is why I found it important to show up there and to ensure that I add my voice or my presence to say that as a community, we would reject hate. We would reject hate. There must be tolerance. There must be tolerance. And whoever you are, you might be looking at me right now, who allowed the Raisita to use you and send you in our community to do your little mischief, be on the lookout. Be on the lookout. Because if there's one thing I know about New York, one thing I know about the United States is the long arms of the law always seem to find you. So be on the lookout. So I was telling you about Comrade Ramjatan. So he saw the emergence of Jim Crow in our country. He also said another thing I took note of. He said that, listen to this, the businessmen, I'm talking to the businessmen, and you need to tell your PPP that they've got to stop this. You hear that? The businessmen, listen to his language, need to tell your PPP that they need to stop that. Just his language alone tells you what he's thinking. So the businessman owns the PPP. That's what he's saying. Or all the businessmen are attached to the PPP. That's what he's inferring by saying that. He also went a step further to to instigate someone. He's talking about an oppressive society, and they refer again to the PPP and Guyana as an apartheid state and the PPP as an apartheid government, and how black people, Comrade Ramjatan is saying this, mind you, black people are oppressed in Guyana, and every time he meet Irfan, I have no problem shaking Irfan's hand. I shake his hand, I pull him in a corner. I always tell him, you got to stop this, brother. You got to stop this. And not exact words, but those were the things he was saying. And he's saying that he told Irfan that he got to stop this. And then he went on to say, Comrade Ramjatan, that is. He was on the Naughty Professor show with the Kadaki Amsterdam guy that cannot pronounce words that begin with the letter H. And Ramjatan also said that we've got to look out. It might not, the violence might not start in droves, but we've got to look out for the lone wolves who would just blow up and go out and do things. Well, to those of you who have listened to Comrade Ramjatan and might be tempted to blow up and do something crazy, they are copying from America. And they want you to copy also from America, and they want you to act like the Trump supporters did on January 6th. I urge you not to fall for that dangerous rhetoric. If Comrade Ramjatan thinks that is happening, tell him to go and do it himself. Because be careful. Do not allow these politicians to use you as pawn, because you don't want to end up like Ashley Babbitt. You don't want to end up like Ashley Babbitt. You don't want to end up like Ricky Sheffer. You know who those persons are? Those persons took riling up by a politician here in the United States, and they are no longer here. So don't let Comrade Ramjatan set y'all up. Tell Comrade Ramjatan, let he go on the front line. Let he go on the front line. Let him first point out to you about this apartheid state. Let him show you. And like I explained to you guys before, what apartheid really is and what apartheid means. Apartheid, ladies and gentlemen, for those of you who missed it, was a system enshrined in the Constitution of South Africa that ensured that blacks and whites were separated. And I ask you again, where in Guyana is this happening? Where is it in Guyana? Imagine Comrade Ramjatan is a lawyer, and he is also seeing an apartheid state. Comrade Ramjatan, I bet Kemraj Ramjatans, those who are responsible for paying for his education, if they're still around, they probably holding their head in shame. And if they're not around, they're probably rolling in the grave. Kemraj Ramjatan is seeing Jim Crow and seeing apartheid state in Guyana. Apartheid was the constitution in South Africa ensured that there was separation, segregation. Blacks living in shanty towns and ghettos, whites living in nice, ritzy, rich neighborhood. And the only time that the blacks were allowed into those rich, ritzy white people neighborhood was once they were going there for work. And they had to walk with an interior passport, a passport that if you got stopped in the white community, you must always be able to show the police what is the reason for you being, or law enforcement, what is the reason for you being in these white communities. And if you couldn't show that, the brutality of those armed forces were going to get you. Were going to be administered to you. Lots of South Africans, black South Africans, lost their lives protesting against apartheid. Where is that happening in Guyana, Kemraj Ramjatan? Aren't you not ashamed to go on these programs and to blatantly lie to the Guyanese people like that? You tried one lie already and it did not work out well for you. You lied to the people before and told them that you saw that the PPP brought in Russians to hijack the elections. Because you were watching TV, because you were watching American television, and you were hearing people talking about hijacking the elections and tapping into computer system and changing votes from one political party to the next, you went on television in Guyana, used the same thing, forgetting completely that in Guyana, our elections is black and white. It's done with paper and pencil or pen. America, you go into a voting booth and you use a machine and you press a button to indicate who you're voting for. So when you hear Americans talk about tapping into machines and that sort of thing, it's not something that they just pluck out from the air, even though it might not be facts. And I believe that it was not facts. But Americans do vote with, most of America vote with a computerized system. Most of a chunk of America do not use paper ballots. They use machines. So when Kemraj Ramjatan got up that morning and he was watching TV and he heard about this, he had nothing to go on television to talk about, no facts to bring to represent his case that the PPP was somehow rigging the elections that he was in charge of as the security minister at the time. So he came up with this Russian story. And remember at that time too, when he came up with the Russian story, Russians were trending. America was talking about Russians interfering in the 2020 elections at that time too. So he heard Russians, he heard interfering with elections, he heard computer, he heard tapping into computerized system, and he used all of that, forgetting completely this person who's responsible for our security, forgetting completely that Guyana's voting is done via paper and ballot paper and a marking with a pen or pencil. Completely forget. He lied to the Guyanese people about that and got away with it, and he's lying again. He's seeing the emergence of Jim Crow. Could you believe that? That's what he's talking about tonight. I read some more comments, and we're actually taking your calls also. Someone said, correction, Ossie, he's a liar, not a lawyer. Of course he is. That's Raymond. Raymond, thank you very much. Ramjatan, oh my guy, I don't attack the man because of his eyes. We're not going to do that, okay? Wink, wink. Good night to everybody over there in Canada. Hope that you guys are all doing good. Ossie, 75% of all business in Guyana are owned by Indo-Guyanese. What do you think the government going to do with the government going to do? Who you think the government going to do business with? We got somebody coming through from Canada. Let's take this call. Caller, good evening. You're live. Good evening. Listen to us
Hello,
on the phone, friend.
What's that?
I was telling you to listen to us on the phone that you're talking to us too. Don't listen to us on the instrument.
No.
All right, go ahead.
No, I said you're talking about Mr. Ramjatan. He should go for, if he thinks that the black people in Ghana love him so much, he should go for a walk in the Grukilla after 6. Or go for a walk. Or go for a walk in Albice Town.
Yes.
Or go for a walk in Tiger Bay. Or you go for a walk in La Penitence. You know, in the penitence area after dark, and see how much they love him.
Yes.
They will pick his ass pocket and leave him out to die on the street. You know, these guys are idiots. I don't know where they come up. You know, these political people are just, something is wrong with them. I don't understand how they talk about apartheid, and you explain it in detail what apartheid is. Guyana doesn't have anything like that.
Right.
I don't understand how people.
As a matter of fact, one big and most important one, I mean, all the points are important, but one big one, is black people were not allowed to vote in South Africa elections.
Exactly.
They were not allowed to vote. They were seen as one of the country natural resources. And they were seen as natural resources because the white elites that own farms and that sort of thing in the gold fields, they saw the blacks as being in this country only to help develop and work and make this country more industrialized. That's all the blacks were there for. Where in Ghana is this happening?
Nowhere. And there's no black person in Guyana that wants to open a business, wants to get involved in anything. Nobody's preventing them from doing so.
Absolutely
I don't know why
correct.
they always think that they're not getting the attention that they deserve. You know, they talk about they're not getting loans in the bank. The bank is not going to give you a loan if you don't have no collateral.
Yes.
Or you don't have no plan of a business plan. That is something that their party should be teaching them, so that they can arm themselves with this intelligence and then go seek a loan. People are not going to give you money if you don't have the ability to pay back. I don't understand this nonsense. You know, and they better wake up, because they're going to be big problems if they don't wake up. You see what happened in Rwanda? You see what happened in Uganda? I don't know if you guys know history. When the man run all the Indians out of Uganda, take the business and run them out. What the guy did in Rhodesia.
You know what, sir? That can never happen in our beautiful country, because you know what? The vast majority of the Guyanese reject hate, and the vast majority of the Guyanese believe that we're one people, and the vast majority of Guyanese live like we're one people. It is one political party, namely the PNC, who is stoking the racism and ebbing our people to act in a racial manner and to pit our people against each other. But people are rejecting it. People are rejecting it.
Yeah, I know. I'm seeing that. I'm seeing that they're getting wise to the rhetoric that the opposition leader is pushing. You know.
Right.
And that is good. And yourself is also doing a fine job of trying to show the Negroes in Guyana that there's a better way, and stop thinking this garbage and following this garbage with racism. There's no racism, but racism.
All right, brother.
Everybody should live good in harmony with each other. It's a small country with a small population. All this bullshit with about racism is a waste of time.
All right, sir.
Get themselves educated so they can get better jobs. All right, thanks.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for coming through.
Yeah.
So that was our caller there. So I want to say thank you to our caller for coming through. We've still got some time left. We still got, what time is it now? We still got about 7 minutes left. We're going to take another caller. Caller, good evening. This is the Diaspora Connected.
Ossie, good night.
Good night.
Thank you for taking the call.
Oh, you're welcome.
Quick comments. There's a media war going on, and I'm afraid I think the opposition is winning this media war. And that is because if you look at every one of their shows, they have 1,000, 1,500, 800 comments. And our viewers are not participating.
Oh, so I have I'll let you finish up and I'll respond to that.
Okay. My point is, on Monday, it was revealed that there was a contract for the extension of the East Coast Highway, and the Chinese got it because no one bid it for it. And now the PNC always says that the PDP gave these contracts to their friends and cronies.
Right.
Well, the extension of this highway was in Region 4, which is a stronghold, allegedly, of the PNC. Why are they not bidding on it? So I wrote a letter to the Starbuck News and Kaiser News, just one paragraph. Neither one printed it. Yet they printed letters from Norman Brown, Lincoln Lewis. So we need to get more involved, PPP supporters, and contribute to these programs, whether writing, phone calls, because it does matter. Thank you so much, Ossie.
All right. Thank you very much for coming through. And I wanna answer that caller by saying, listen, yes, they might have more views than us, but you know, most of the times it is our people who are viewing them. Especially like Rickford Burke. If you notice, he bans a lot of people from making comments on his program, but he never blocked them from viewing because they thrive on views. And as it relates to our people, a lot of our supporters go there. They go there because they are passionate. A lot of you guys go and view their stuff, and I understand why. But we give them, by doing this, unintentionally, we make them feel as though they are important and they have lots of followers. It was the same scenario that happened in the elections. So they brought out, they brought a lot of artists, the PNC that is, APNU, brought a lot of artists to Guyana during their rallies. So they brought out big crowds because most of those people went there for the show to watch Farmer Nappy and to watch all these singers that they brought. And they were fooled by their crowd size. They had lots of school children in there. They had lots of foreigners in there. Imagine, you know, a political party put on a free concert. Farmer Nappy had one of the most trending songs at the time. One of the most enjoyed songs at the time. One of the most played songs at the time. Garbage Bag. Actually, it's still a big hit up to now. And they brought him and he brought out huge crowds. Of course, because most of the people went there because Farmer Nappy is there and I'm getting to see him for free. And they thought by seeing those big crowds, this is how stupid that political party and their leaders are. They thought by seeing those big crowds, they were actually making an impact. So you had lots of school children there. You had lots of, you had foreigners there. You had people who were not registered, people who were not interested in elections or anything to do with that. You had lots of those there. So they were fooled by that. And it's the same thing that's happening on social media now. They're being fooled because they see a lot of our supporters. And I understand why. I understand the passion. They're so passionate to defend their country. And they're so passionate to go there and to speak out and to comment when these guys like Rickford Burke, the Ricita, the Nutty Professor, and all of them are talking garbage. Our people are on their platforms, and you see they're having lots of views, but that does not translate into support. Some of us, I view their stuff. I view their stuff because I want to hear what nonsense they're talking. And the caller spoke about All Boys Town. The PNC did a community outreach in All Boys Town. They went bearing gifts, back to school supplies for the children. And even the school children in All Boys Town rejected them because about 10 of them showed up. And if you don't believe me, you can go check out the pictures on their website. About 10 children showed up in All Boys Town, even though, imagine the children in Guyana are rejecting the PNC even when they go bearing gifts. Even when they go bearing gifts, the children are rejecting them. So, I say this arbors well for our country and for our future. Because even the children is not falling for their buffoonery. You know, normally you go in communities and you go with gifts. How the children would flock you. About 10 children they had there. They had this big community outreach in All Boys Town. And even the school children rejected them. They left with their gifts to them. But 10 of them collect their free school bags. One more caller and then we've got to start wrapping up. Good evening, caller. You're live on the Diaspora Connected.
Yes, sir. Special good night to you, Mr.
Special good night to you.
Ossie Rodgers. I'm calling in from, actually, I'm in Miami,
Uh-huh.
but I'm formerly from New York City.
Okay.
But one question. Is the government of New York, Guyana, I'm sorry, my bad.
We got to make it snappy, brother.
Yes, I'm asking if the government of Guyana doing anything to combat the crime rate and what's happening in Guyana right now, and it's very people who trying to get there, people like myself, want to come back home to Guyana.
And what's stopping you?
Come back.
What's stopping you from going back to Guyana?
Because the thing is, what I'm seeing.
What are you seeing?
Is every day the crime rate is going up and going up.
I don't know what you watching and where you're seeing these things, but no crime rate ain't going up in Guyana. As a matter of fact, the crime rate is going down. The crime rate is going down. What you are falling victim of, sir, is because now everyone has a cell phone. You're seeing more crimes on social media, but that does not necessarily mean that the crime rate is going up, because back in maybe 5 years ago, 6 years ago, there weren't so much cell phones in Guyana. And even then, when you had cell phones back then, data was hard to come by. But now more and more people are affording data because it's cheaper. More and more people are affording cell phones because it's cheaper. Actually, the People's Progressive Party, when they got into power, slashed the VAT rate on cell phones. So every Guyanese got about 2 cell phones now.
Well, sir,
Uh-huh.
I understand what you're saying, but what you're seeing on social media is scaring people to get back.
Man, sir, with all due respect, you say you live in Florida?
Yeah.
Have you ever seen anything on social media about any gunman walking into any bar and shooting up the whole bar in Guyana? You ever saw that? No, it never happened there, but I saw it happen in Orlando, Florida. A gunman went into a bar and shoot up the whole bar and kill a whole host of people. Are you not scared of Florida also? That was widely reported on social media and otherwise.
Mr. Rodgers, me and your friends, we bet together.
No, that's fine, but because we're friends, we cannot agree to disagree.
No, that's okay, because me and you, we DJ at Farmport.
Brother, I got to let you go though. I appreciate you coming through, but
that's fine. But let's just get one debate.
Yeah, I love to debate, and that's why I entertain you, and I I want to talk to you. I love to debate.
We're friends. I'm an Indian guy, Guyanese descent, what I'm saying.
But I have to let you go because our time is almost up. But there's no crime rate being increased in Guyana. As a matter of fact, and I can tell you what the government is doing. The government. I want to make sure my words come out completely clear here. The government has now at the helm of the Guyana Police Force a crime fighter who is serious about fighting crime in the name of Clifton Hickens.
What we have to do.
Right. And Clifton Hickens is a manager who knows to manage the force. And he also believes in intervention, stopping crime before it happens. That is why every single weekend almost, Clifton Hickens is in the troubled communities doing things for the young people so that they can understand that there is a life without getting involved in crime. And when the political party like the PNC continue to stroke their racism into these communities and carry their dose of hopelessness into these communities, it is Clifton Hickens, who is one of them, who go into these communities and let the young people know that there's hope, and that you can do it too right in Guyana. You do not have to get involved in crime.
You're right. Perfect.
Gotta go, brother. Gotta go. I'm sorry, but I have to go.
Nice to speak to you.
All right. Take care. Our time is almost gone, but I see I made a mistake and take this call, so we're gonna take this call, and this is our final call. Good evening. You got to be short.
Yes, good evening, sir. Just one comment or two comments.
Thank you.
If you know the PNC leaders, not talking about PNC leaders, the PNC supporters, they would agree to anything the PNC leaders tell them. They would even agree.
Not all of them, but Valda Lawrence already said it. You remember during the elections time, Valda Lawrence said if you're a true PNC, you don't question your leaders. You don't question your leaders. Just do whatever your leader tell you. So if they tell you jump overboard, jump overboard.
Yes, we cut in school.
But brother, wait. Let me add this in there. But I want to warn you, PNC people, do not be like the Babbitt lady, Ashley Babbitt, and what's the other guy named Ricky Sheffer. Don't be like them. Question your leaders. Go ahead, continue, quick.
That's what I want to tell you. We need to get stricter laws for these politicians who commit fraud, who commit election fraud. Very, very strict laws. Because if your neighbor thief for 2 mango, he going for 2-year jail. What about these guys who thief the whole election? They ain't getting nothing yet.
Try to.
You know you're going to try to. But look at the crime, and there is every single evidence there on paper, on the internet. Every single thing, there's evidence there. What's taking Guyana so long to prosecute these guys? You know? Look at that. That's what I'm saying. All the evidence is on the internet. What does the court else need?
And you know, I want to commend you, man. I never seen nobody did this before, but you're bad. Because I tell the man that we got short time, you gotta hurry this up. The man talk fast too, but you're bad.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
All right, take care. You're a last caller. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. This guy take you get the trophy tonight, brother. The man talked fast, and the man was able to bring out his points very quickly, even because I told him we had our time was almost gone. Final comment, ladies and gentlemen. I see somebody say, Ossie Rodgers, according to you, no crime rate ain't going up in Guyana. Can you be more specific if you're referring to crimes in general or crimes in specific, such as petty crimes, serious crimes, etc.? Now you know woke people are looking. Okay. So, brother, again, I say this and I stand by every word I say. The crime rate in Guyana is not increasing. The crime rate in Guyana is going down. They had a piece of time in Guyana when they had lots of crimes being committed. The crime rate is going down, and this is because of the management put in place. Obviously, the People's Progressive Party Civic are the ultimate managers of the country. And they put people in place, and they've put a commission in place who is serious about crime. And like I said, he's in the community doing his interventions and everything else, and we are seeing the fruits of that. So kudos to the Guyana Police Force, and kudos to the Commissioner of Police, Acting Clifton Hicken, for bringing down the crime rate in our country. And we've got to stick to statistics, not what people tell us or what people want us to believe. Finally, before we go, I know my operator's getting upset because we're going beyond time. But finally, before we go, I want to say this. And I want to quote this too. They had a retarded-looking banners. I think he's doing a show named The Lowdown or something like that. His name is something low. Retarded-looking banners from PNC. And the man had a grabbing headline. According to the man said, and I quote, "Embattled vice president must not be involved in Guyana's oil business." Who the hell are you? That's all I want to ask him. Who the hell are you to determine that? Bara Jagdi, our vice president, was on the list of candidates for the People's Progressive Party. The People's Progressive Party Civic presented a list of candidates to the people of Guyana, and the people of Guyana determined and decided that they want Bara Jagdio to form part of the management of Guyana, the government of Guyana. Retarded looking banners, relax yourself. You're ready for this yet. Why you don't go in the corner with your little league leader that you have? That's my last word, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Ossie Rodgers. On behalf of my technical team here at Sky TV New York, and of course those guys that I made work a little extra down there in Guyana, the Guyanese Critic Facebook page, and They Break News, I want to say thank you very much for joining us. And we'll do this again on Tuesday, all being equal. Remember, we're one people. We have a common destiny. Let us not allow those race baiters and liars that talk about apartheid and all these kind of things to make us feel as though, make us operate in a sense of hopelessness. There's hope, and things are happening in Guyana, and lives are changed every day in Guyana for the better because of the astute management, excellent management, and leadership provided by our president, His Excellency Mohamed Irfan Ali. Ossie Rodgers saying have a good rest of the evening. I know the weekend is coming up. It's the long weekend here in New York. Happy Labor Day weekend to everybody. Happy Amerindian Heritage Day. And whatever you're celebrating, happy whatever you're celebrating to you. Goodbye.
We are one Guyana, place of peace.